Drawing this colorful kiwi poster in Procreate is easier than you think, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can do it even if you're a beginner in digital art and Procreate. Before you start, make sure to download the color palette and that you have all the brushes and paper textures. They are linked in the description of this video. And if you'll have fun drawing this with me and would like to learn more about Procreate, learn different styles and techniques, make sure to check out my Patreon. I add a new video every week. Link is in the description. So now, with all that being said, grab your drawing tools, relax, and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And we are going to start with drawing the shapes of the kiwis. Let's pick the color for this. Take color number 1. And let's pick a brush. Let's go here to inking and take Studio Pen. We can use here brush size 20. And let's draw here first kiwi, maybe somewhere over here. So just draw it with like a kind of shaky hand, shape like this. Okay? Now we can draw another one, maybe somewhere down here. Now let's draw another one, maybe just here. And now over here at the bottom can be one hidden in the back. We can draw it with a slightly thinner line. Then we can add one more somewhere over here. And one on top. Like that. And then still there'll be one over here in the back. Okay, so these are the outlines for our kiwis. We are going to set this layer here as reference so we can color the shapes inside. So let's tap here on this layer and pick your reference. Now let's make a new layer and we can put this layer under the reference layer. Over here. We can start maybe with coloring the background. So let's pick a color. Take color number 4. And just drag and drop it into this space, and over here, and here. Now let's make a new layer, and we can color these two kiwis that are like in a backpack. So let's make a new layer. Let's pick the color. Take color number 5, and drop it in here and here. And now let's make one more layer, and we can color the rest of the kiwis. Let's take color number 2 for this. And drop it in here like that. Okay, let's start adding here some details. We'll start here with those front kiwis. So to do it, we can make a new layer on top of this one. And we're going to set this layer here as clipping mask. So let's tap here and pick clipping mask. So this means that now we can draw only on those shapes. We can't draw outside of them. We are going to change blending mode of this to multiply. So let's tap over here and pick here multiply. We can now draw a shape like this in the middle of each kiwi. And we are going to color this inside. As you can see, we cannot drop it like this. And this is because we have our reference layer on. So let's open the layers first. Let's go over here and turn it off. So tap here and turn off the reference. Let's go back to our layer over here. And now we can color only those shapes inside. We want the edge of those shapes to be a little bit disturbed. We can do it easily by going to the adjustments and taking here liquify tool. Over here at the bottom, let's pick crystals option. We can make the brush size here maybe about 83, pressure 72, distortion 88, and momentum 51. Now you can just put your pencil here in the middle and just hold it to create here this kind of pattern. Let's do it to all of them. You can zoom out over here and do it like that. And over here we have to go outside of the canvas. We can now turn down the opacity of this. Maybe this is a little bit too strong. So let's open the layers, tap here, and just turn down the opacity. I'm going to make it here 57. Now we can make a new layer to add here a lighter color. Let's set this here as clipping mask. And we're going to set blending mode of this to overlay. With the same color, we can now draw here a shape smaller than the first one, like this. Here we are not going to see anything. So like that, and let's color this inside. Okay, we can now do the same thing and disturb the edges of those shapes. So let's go to the adjustments, take a liquify tool, and do the same move. Okay, tap here to finish this. And now we can turn down the opacity of this. This is a little bit too strong. I'll make it here 64. Okay, now we can do one more layer. We are also going to set it as clipping mask and change it to overlay. Let's pick the color. Let's take color number 7. And now we can draw a shape that will be close to this one, like that. Color this inside. And we're going to add here some small lines coming out of it, like this, all around it. And also here we can just add those lines. So now again, we can do the same thing we did before. So let's go to the adjustments and take liquify. And now add it to this part, like that. Okay. And we're going to turn down the opacity of this layer. So first up here to finish this. And now go over here and turn it down. This one we want to be very subtle, like almost not visible. I will make it here 22%. Okay, let's make now one more layer. We are also going to set it here as clipping mask, but let's leave it here as a normal blending mode. Let's pick the color, take color number 3, and again we can draw here a shape now in the middle, more or less like this. Let's color them inside. And we can draw now lines coming out of it. Make them go further outside in this way. And now here in the ends, we can make those parts thicker. So like this, just use more pressure with your brush and make here those ends thicker. And now let's take a small break, and I would like to ask you to write a comment, I can draw this. It would mean a lot to me, I would know that you enjoyed this video, and I could see who is watching me. So thank you for doing that. And now let's go back to drawing. Let's do the same to the other ones. Here you can be careful not to draw on the other kiwi, but if you do, it's fine. We can just erase it in a second. And now for this one, we'll still see here those ends. So let's draw them. Okay, and now let's take the eraser. Let's tap on it again. We can set it here to monoline brush. My brush size will be 56. And we can just erase where we came outside of our shapes. Okay, I think I'm good. So now we can add here some shadows and lights. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's also set it here as clipping mask. And first we can do the shadows. So let's set this layer here to multiply. Let's pick the color. Take color number 8. And let's add shadow to this one first. So to do it easily, so we don't have to try to go here along the line, we can just select here this shape first. To do it, let's go to our outlines over here. Now we can take the selection tool. At the bottom, let's pick automatic. Make sure the color fill is off. And let's select this shape over here. Right away, we can select this one too. Okay. With this selected, we can go to the layer for the shadows, this one. You can now make the brush size 100% and just draw the shadows. So over here, I want to have shadows in this part. Just kind of follow the shape over here. We can also add some shadow over here along this kiwi. And that's it. And now here, let's add shadows like that. And this will be enough for the shadows. So let's tap here to finish this. And now we can just adjust the opacity of this layer. So let's go over here and turn down the opacity. I'm going to make it 76%. Now let's make a layer for the lights. So let's tap here on a plus. Let's set it here as clipping mask and change it here to overlay. For the lights, we can pick color number 9. Let's start with drawing the lights just in general. Maybe somewhere over here we can have a light. So draw some shapes like that. Doesn't have to be anything precise. This is kind of like an abstract art, so this will be nice in this way. We can add some light over here. Now maybe here. Over here I would like to add the light along this edge. So in a moment we can select only this shape, but first let's add it maybe more. Just overall the kiwis, maybe like that. Now over here. For this one we can have a big light somewhere over here. Now some smaller lights in here. Maybe I'll still add light over here. And now for this one, maybe light like this. Okay. So now let's select some shapes. Let's go to the layer with the outlines. take the selection tool, and let's start with selecting here this one and this one. With this selected, let's go back here to our lights, this layer over here. And we can add the light right here on the edge without going now on this other kiwi. Let's add it here like that. We can also maybe add here this light here on this edge. I think that's enough. So let's finish the selection, and maybe I'll still add here some light over here on the edge. And just a little bit here. And still here. Okay, let's turn down the opacity of this layer. I'm going to make it here 51%. So now we are going to repeat the same process for those kiwis here in the back. So let's go to the layer of them, it's this one, and let's make a new layer above it. Set it here as clipping mask and change it to multiply. Let's take the color we used for them. It was color number 5. And we can just imagine this shape over here will be like that. And now here we can draw it like that. Okay, let's add here the disturbed edge. So let's go to the adjustments and take liquify tool. We can do it here like that. And now over here. Tap here to finish this. And let's turn down the opacity of this layer. I'm going to make it here 44. Okay, now let's make one more layer. Set it here as clipping mask and change it here to overlay. Let's draw a smaller shape over here and now over here. Color this inside and add here the effect tool. So go to the adjustments and take liquify tool. Do it over here and now here. Tap here to finish this. And now let's make one more layer. Set it as clipping mask, set it as overlay. And let's take color number 7. Let's draw a smaller shape. Color this inside. And here we can add those lines. Same over here. Let's add here the liquify effect. And now turn down the opacity of this. I'll make it here 42. Okay. So now let's make one more layer. Set it as clipping mask. And let's pick the color. Let's take color number 6. And we can draw here the smaller shape inside. Color this inside. And draw here the lines coming out. Maybe I'll just turn down the brush size. I'll make it 29. So draw here smaller lines coming out of it. And then we can finish it here with thicker parts. So now let's add here a layer for the shadows. Let's set it here as clipping mask and change it here to multiply. Let's pick the color, take color number 8, and we can just add the shadows over here like that. And now for this one here. And here. Let's turn down the opacity of this. I'll make it here 92. Now let's make a layer for the lights. Set it here as clipping mask and set it here as overlay. Let's pick the color, take color number 9, and we can add some light over here, not much, Just a little bit here, maybe like that. And here. Let's turn down the opacity of this one. I'll make it here 46. Now we can add some more details, such as seeds on those kiwis. So let's go to our outlines layer over here. And let's pick the color. Take color number 1. We can make the brush size now maybe 39. And just draw some small seeds in all of the kiwis in this area over here. Just try to avoid drawing them on those lightest lines going from this big part over here. Draw some seeds also on those kiwis in the back. Now let's add some lights and shadows to those pink parts. So to the background. Let's go to the layer of it. Let's make a new layer above it. And we can set this layer here as multiply. Let's pick the color. First we're going to use color number 4. Okay, so over here we can just draw lines going in the same direction as the kiwis, like that, just on this side. Now same here in this top corner. And now we can make one more layer for the shadows. Let's also set it here as multiply. And now change the color to color number 8. So now we can draw the same lines, just smaller, thinner. Turn down the opacity of this one. I'll make this one 31%. And now let's make a layer for the lights. Let's set it here to overlay. And here we can take color number 7. Just add some lights like that. And this will be enough. Turn down the opacity of this. I'll make it here 34. So this could be a finished illustration, but I think it would be so much nicer if we add here paper texture. So let's go to the top layer. And now let's add here paper texture. Let's go to the Actions menu, Add, and pick here inside the file, and then go to the folder where you have saved my paper textures. For this project, I will pick texture number C10. Let's change the blending mode of this so you can actually see the kiwis. So let's tap over here, and we can set this one to overlay. This already looks so much nicer. We can turn down the opacity of this. I'll make it 77. And now let's duplicate it. So swipe on it to the left and pick duplicate. And change this top one to color burn. This makes it very vibrant. Let's turn down the opacity of this. I'm going to make this one 23. So now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to get more tutorials like this, make sure to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye!